Hello students, how are you all? Studying well? Yes, study well for better marks and a better future. So here is a video on the topic electricity for class 10 and a very important topic will be dealt here, Ohm's law. So we begin right away. Now, Ohm's law is named Ohm's law because it was given by a physicist, George Simon Ohm, and it gives you a relationship between potential difference V and current I. To derive this relationship, an experiment was conducted, and here I will explain the experiment to you. Understand carefully, it is important from examination point of view also. Okay. So first of all, we will set up the circuit as shown in this diagram. I will explain the setup to you. These are all connecting wires. Then as the wire, between the wires, between point X and Y, a resistance wire is taken. A wire with high resistance like nichrome etc. is taken. This symbol I have explained in the previous video. You can refer to that through the description in the description box if you want. So here we take a wire XY of resistance R, and to this resistance we connect a voltmeter which will measure the potential difference, and we connect an ammeter over here in series. So we know voltmeter is always connected in parallel across the circuit and ammeter is always connected in series across the circuit. But if you are very new to this chapter, then the meaning of series and parallel may not be clear. That will be explained in the next video, so you can refer to that also for series and parallel. Okay, so now these are all the connections. This is the switch, you all know, and here 4 cells have been taken. The connection is made such that whatever number of cells we want to use, we can make the connection across those many number of cells, because we will be repeating this experiment 4 times as shown here. Okay. So for the initial start, we will have the key open. Then we will connect the wire across this point, which means at this moment only one cell is connected to the circuit and these 3 cells are not connected. When we connect this, after that we are going to plug in the key. The moment we plug in the key, the circuit is completed and the current begins to flow. As the current flows, the ammeter and the voltmeter will give a certain reading. We will record this reading in the table provided here. Here I have taken number of cells, whatever current it is going to show, and the volts, how many volts we are using, and then we will find the V upon I ratio. So in the first attempt we have taken just one cell. Suppose we are getting a current of 3 amperes in this, and because we are connecting one cell, say it has a potential difference of 1.5 volt. Once this first step has been done, now we will again remove the key, keep it aside, disconnect it from here and make a connection over here. It means now we are using 2 cells. So number of cells used is 2, and then we will connect the key, we will close the switch so that the current can flow. As the current will flow, again there will be a reading in the voltmeter and the ammeter. Because earlier we were using one cell, now we are using 2 cells, so the value of V say changes to 3V. And suppose my current becomes 6 ampere. Then again we will repeat the same step. remove the key, change the connection to 3 cells, note down the voltmeter and the ammeter reading, and then same thing we will do with 4 cells also. And suppose we get the reading over here, like this. Each time we are going to plug in the key, note the voltmeter and the ammeter reading, and we will continue like this. Whatever is the value we are getting, then we will do a V upon I ratio. So this is V 1.5 upon 3 gives me 0.5. We get the ratio as 0.5. Here we do 3 upon 6, 1 upon 2, again I get 0.5, 4.5 upon 9, again I get 0.5, and 6 upon 12, again I get 0.5. So it will be observed that whatever value of potential difference I take, I get almost the same value for the V upon I ratio. From this experiment, Simon Ohms concluded that V upon I is a constant. It remains constant for a given set of wire. V upon I remains constant for a given wire. This was his conclusion. This can also be stated as a representation of the Ohm's law. And to define Ohm's law, we say that V is directly proportional to I, that is potential difference is directly proportional to current at a given temperature. Okay, at a given temperature. So now he calculated this constant. We can also say V is directly proportional to I. This proportionality constant was found out and was given a symbol R. So removing the proportionality constant, we get V is equal to IR, which is the expression for Ohm's law. Expression for Ohm's law, where R is taken as the resistance. R is the resistance. Now what is this resistance? It was seen that when we change different materials, we get a different value of V upon I, means that different value was coming because of the resistance. So as per the findings, it was said that whenever material is changed, we get a different value. Now we will come to few more understandings from this Ohm's law. First of all, if the resistance is constant, if we keep the value of R constant, means we use the same material, same length. If this value of R is constant, then if V increases, I also increases. This is one thing we can find from here. If V increases, I is also going to increase. Similarly, if we have this R is equal to V upon I from this expression, we can use this expression. We can use this expression for finding out the different numericals based on it. Now we will come to the unit of, new term has come here. We have already done the unit of potential difference. We have already done the unit of current. Now this resistance which has come, we are going to find out the unit of resistance. So for that, we need this expression. V upon I is equal to R. And then we will place the values or the units of V and I to find the unit of R. We know R is equal to V upon I. The unit of V is volt, written as V only. and the unit of current is ampere, written as A. So the unit of resistance becomes volt per ampere. This is the unit. This is the formula. You can see here. This is the formula and this is the unit. This volt per ampere was taken as ohm in honor of the scientist who derived this entire Ohm's law. So from here we can say, and this is the spelling of ohm, and the symbol used is omega, like this. So we say 1 ohm is equal to 1 volt upon 1 ampere. Okay, this is the expression of 1 ohm. And 1, how will we define 1 ohm? We have defined 1 volt, we have defined 1 ampere. So how is 1 ohm defined? When 1 volt potential difference produces a current of 1 ampere, then the resistance is said to be 1 ohm. Is this clear? So we can use volt per ampere and we can use 1 ohm also. And if the resistance will change, the value of V upon I will be something new because the R is V upon I. This is clear, I hope. Then we have some numericals based on Ohm's law. Now I will take 1 or 2 simple numericals for Ohm's law. So let me take, again we have 3 things over here. So if 2 are given to us, we can definitely find the third one. Like suppose calculate the resistance if a current of say 10 amperes produces a potential difference of 40 volt. We know R is equal to V upon I, and sometimes children get confused with this formula. The expression for Ohm's law is V is equal to IR. I often suggest to remember this by memorizing VIR. This way you will not get confused. So I remember, so this is a suggestion. V is equal to IR. You just memorize the word VIR and your formula never goes wrong. Like sometimes you remember this will be wrong. Therefore, to remember it correctly, you can use this word which I am suggesting you. Okay, now back to the numerical. R we have to find. I have the value of V as 40 and value of current as 10. So R becomes 4 and the unit used will be ohms. Yes. So is it clear? And again one more thing. In case we have the different values for current like milliampere etc. is given to it. So we have to bring it back to the SI unit before attempting the numerical, as I have told in the previous video also. Let me take that type of example. Suppose it is given, calculate the resistance if the potential difference is 2 volt when a current of 20 milliampere is supplied. Now, the moment I view this question, I see this is not in the SI unit. So, I will first convert it to SI unit, which means divided by 1000. So, 20 upon 1000 gives you 2 upon 100. Now, we have to find the resistance. R is equal to V upon I. As I have already told you, mentioning the formula is also essential. So, value of V is 2 and I is 2 upon 100. So, here the resistance is 100 ohms. Have you understood this? So, after this, we are going to take one more activity which is going to explain to us that what is a resistor which has resistance and how are they different from conductors and insulators. So now we will be taking up the next activity. Now this activity which we are going to take is showing us something about the resistance. So first the activity and then what it is showing. So here also I have taken a simple circuit in which an ammeter is connected. We have a battery, we have a switch, and we have two open ends. So at the moment, if you see, my circuit is not complete even though the key is plugged in. This has been left loose to attach different components one by one and note the reading of the ammeter. Points to be noted here is, in this we have taken a battery and we are not changing the potential difference. So therefore we have not connected a voltmeter because the potential difference is fixed, and we are here studying the dependency of current and resistance. So I have taken three different components. The first one is a nichrome wire. The second one is a 10-watt bulb, and the third one is a torch. Now one by one I am going to connect this between X and Y. So first I take the nichrome wire and place it between X and Y, and I note the value of current. Say it is I1. Then I place this, I remove the key, I remove the nichrome wire, I place the bulb, 10-watt bulb, again I put the key, again I note the value of current, again I will see a different value for current. Then suppose it is IA, or let me write it IB for bulb, and then again the same procedure, remove the key, change the component, and we attach the torch over there, put in the key, and I note the current. Suppose it comes IT. Through this experiment it was observed that for the same potential difference, different current is achieved by different types of components which we are introducing in the circuit. Some components allow easy passage of current, hence the value of current will be more, while some materials do not allow easy passage of the current, and therefore the value of current in the circuit will be less. From here we understand what are conductors. So any material which gives you a greater value of current for the same potential difference is said to be a conductor, because it gives an easy path for the flow of electrons, and when electrons will flow easily, current will be more. Certain components have a higher resistance, therefore they do not allow the electrons to flow easily, and they are called resistors. Resistors are of different values. Some are low resistors, means they allow some electrons to pass. Some are high resistors, very less electrons, means less current. And then we have insulators. Insulators are those which do not allow the electrons to pass at all, and hence do not allow the current to flow. So this is all about conductors, resistors and insulators. This is all for this video, and in the next video we will be studying the factors on which the resistance of a material depends. Stay tuned for new uploads. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Thank you.